And the more you increase your I don't give a fuck levels, the more freedom and happiness you'll experience and enjoy in your life. What I'm talking about is that there is no room for just utter and complete consistent hypocrisy. I understand what kind of person I want to be and what kind of life I want to live. Have you done that? Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My experience and expertise is in scaling all types of medical businesses to 7, 8, and 9 figures. And I'm sharing my journey to having multiple 8-figure companies and someday, hopefully, enjoying a 9-figure exit. This isn't a podcast telling you you should do this. I'm just telling you how I did this, and I hope that helps you. I want to help you build your business, take ownership of your life, and become a better leader at home and at work. And guys, I'd love to connect with you, especially if you're a medical entrepreneur. I have free courses available to help you scale your medical business. Check those out at dralexspinoso.com/courses. That is dralexspinoso.com/courses. I also invite you to connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Alex Spinoso, LinkedIn at the same, and every other platform, YouTube, etc. I am always Dr. Alex Spinoso. Thanks for listening. Today, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about increasing your IDGAF levels. And if you guys don't know what IDGAF levels are, it stands for I don't give a fuck, and how I use it to achieve greater success. Now, I'm going to immediately address two things. Firstly, there will be those who respond to this without hearing anything I have to say. They will react to this opening remark by saying, "Hell yeah, Alex, I don't give a fuck either. In fact, I think we should give 0 fucks about what anybody says." And then there's going to be the other side who says, "Oh, that's a terrible attitude to have. You're just giving yourself a license to be obnoxious and do whatever the hell you want without considering anyone's feelings or how it might adversely affect them." Look, what I would say is you're both wrong. Because what I mean by I don't give a fuck levels is very specific. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this was because I had a funny text thread exchange with my media team the other day. Basically, one of my team members is helping me to put together a keynote to speak at a large conference. I'm going through all my old photos, and he found a photo of a work of art, a painting of me fully nude from the perspective of my ass. So my team member found this, posted it in our text thread, and said, "I own you now. Blackmail begins today. I want 100,000 crisp, clean dollar bills sent to 4056 Courtney Circle by 3 p.m. today." To which I replied, simply, "See, this is where you fail. You think that I actually care. That piece of art hung up in the lobby of the art gallery of Dartmouth my entire senior year. I did naked modeling for extra money. Do you think I actually give a fuck?" And I also added a laughing emoji, so he knew that I knew that he was actually kidding around. But even if he was serious, the reality is I wouldn't give a fuck. If you actually look on Facebook, the picture's there. But I want to tell you why and how. See, throughout my life, I've cultivated I don't give a fuck levels in a very positive way that has given me a sense of freedom to do what I feel I'm meant to do without being overly attached to other people's approval or their opinions. If you want to cultivate your IDGAF levels in a legitimate way, if you want to cultivate detachment from people's approval, then there are 3 things you need to know and understand to apply to your life. And what I'm going to tell you is going to change your life. Number 1, know your core values. We talk about core values on a business level a lot. Core values drive your company culture and are incredibly important for the scaling of my business. At Genesis, our core values are dig deep and act with integrity. Dig, D-I-G, is determination, innovation, and growth. Act, accountability, customer service, teamwork, and integrity is our last one. But on a personal level, core values are what you believe. Actually, the truth is your core values in business should essentially be the same as your core values in life. They're what you believe. the values you hold dear, the things that will guide you, help you make decisions, and evaluate how you're doing in life, as well as evaluate other people. I am very, very clear on my core values. I am very clear on what I believe. I have hammered that out, and there's no doubt nor fog whatsoever in my mind. I understand what kind of person I want to be and what kind of life I want to live. Have you done that? Have you gotten clear on your core values? If you don't know who you are or what you stand for, you're not going to know how to evaluate feedback from others, good or bad. Once you have your core values in place, the next step is to actually live them out. Core values are worthless if they're just up on the wall and not part of your business or your daily life. So the second step is very important. You actually have to live out what you say you believe. You embody the core values that you claim to embrace. Now, no one's perfect. We will all fall short of our values and our standards. And when we do, we have to admit when we're wrong, admit our mistakes, and do everything we can to make them right and live with a clear conscience. What I'm talking about is that there is no room for just utter and complete consistent hypocrisy. If you say you believe one thing and live an entirely different thing, there's just no way that you can look yourself in the mirror and say that you don't give a fuck about somebody else's opinion of you. Well, you should, because otherwise you're a fucking hypocrite. You should because you're a piece of shit. So it's very important not to just know your core values, know what you stand for, but actually consistently live them out. And by the way, that's why my company's core values include accountability and integrity. You can't just be a worthless piece of shit and say you don't care about anyone's opinion. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so with principle number 1 and number 2 in place and applied, that activates principle number 3. Determine what kind of people you want to stand with. Look at all the different types of people in the world and ask yourself whose opinion actually matters. Whose opinion should I actually take into my heart and mind and let actually influence me? And the truth is, that's going to be a very small number of people. Because there's going to be a fairly small number of people who have earned the right to speak truth into your life. I'm thinking about your parents if they really love you, your wife, your close friends, your very inner circle. And when it comes to business, those people you should be happy to stand with. And those people do have a right to maybe say to you, hey, bro, maybe you need to work on this. Or maybe you need to consider that. But beyond that, if someone else doesn't share your core values, if they don't live the way that you want them to live, why the heck would you give a fuck about what they think, about their opinion of you, or whether they approve of something you are doing in business or your life? So when I posed for that piece of art and then gave my permission for it to be displayed in the art gallery, that was consistent with my core values. I have always been committed to fitness. I work hard on my body. Plus, I have a creative streak. I appreciate art. I grew up doing art. It connects me with my family. So I was not ashamed to do that at all. And the people who I valued and who shared my core values and who lived the kind of lives that I want to live thought it was great. There might have been somebody who didn't think it was great. Maybe someone who didn't understand me or my artistic value of it or thought I looked terrible. Well, guess what? I don't care. I didn't care back then. And I don't now. I don't give a fuck. As the saying goes, because me and them, we ain't the same. They hate us because they ain't us. So I don't care what they have to say. You understand what I'm talking about? It's the same way in business. It's the same way in making decisions for how you run your life. Identify your core values. Know what you stand for. Live what you stand for. Seek to live with as much consistency and integrity as you can. Determine who you want to stand with. Identify the peoples whose opinions and approval and love and acceptance really matter. Everyone else literally means nothing. Doesn't mean that they're worthless. I'm not saying that. But it does mean that they have a factor of 0 in how you feel about yourself or what you choose to do or how you choose to live. You take these 3 principles seriously, and you're going to have a boldness. You're going to have a detachment. And the more you increase your I don't give a fuck levels, the more freedom and happiness you'll experience and enjoy in your life. You will have freedom and power to do whatever you want to do in business and whatever you want to do in life. You'll know that you don't have to apologize for anyone, for anything.